The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly, punctuated by distant starlight. The human starship Dauntless moved with calculated precision, its systems humming quietly beneath the metallic hull. Captain J. Park stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the holographic display that mapped their current trajectory through the Orion sector. Siak Lee, the ship's strategic officer, noticed something first. A subtle shift in the quantum sensors, a ripple in the electromagnetic field that didn't belong. "Captain," he called out, his voice calm but urgent, "we've got incoming vessels." 3 massive alien battlecruisers materialized from hyperspace, their angular shapes cutting through the starry backdrop like predatory shadows. The communication system crackled to life, revealing the confident voice of Commander Kirill Voss from the lead vessel. Unidentified human craft, the alien's translator buzzed with a mixture of arrogance and dismissal. "You have entered restricted space. Prepare for immediate boarding and processing." J. Park allowed himself a slight smile. The aliens had no idea what was coming. The Xeraxian ships began charging their weapon systems, massive energy cores building up power with an almost visible tension. Their tactical displays showed a small human vessel, seemingly vulnerable and outgunned. Standard protocol suggested immediate surrender or destruction, but humanity had been preparing for this moment for generations. Siak's fingers danced across the quantum interface, activating systems that looked like nothing the alien technology could comprehend. The Dauntless wasn't just a ship. It was a technological marvel that represented decades of secret research and development. "Weapon systems ready," Siak announced, his voice steady. The first alien weapon discharge erupted, a massive burst of energy that would have obliterated most known spacecraft. But the Dauntless simply shifted. Its adaptive nano-shielding absorbed the energy, redistributing it across molecular structures that the aliens couldn't even detect. Commander Kirill Voss watched in growing confusion. Their targeting systems showed perfect alignment, yet the human ship remained completely unharmed. "Impossible," he muttered, his translator converting the alien language into sharp, frustrated tones. J. Park gave a single command: "Engage." The Dauntless transformed. What appeared to be a standard exploration vessel suddenly revealed layers of technological complexity that defied everything the Xeraxian fleet understood about warfare. Quantum displacement drives made the ship virtually untraceable, while adaptive combat algorithms began systematically dismantling the alien vessel's defensive capabilities. Within minutes, the first Xeraxian battlecruiser lost all primary and backup systems. Its massive hull became nothing more than a floating piece of metal, its crew stunned into silence. The communication channel filled with panic. Alien commanders shouted conflicting orders, their perfectly planned invasion crumbling in real time. Siak looked at Jay. "Shall we demonstrate the full extent?" Jay nodded. "Minimal force, send a message." The next sequence of events would be remembered in galactic records as the moment humanity revealed its true technological potential. Not through massive destruction, but through a precise, almost surgical display of superiority. 2 more alien ships found themselves completely disabled, not destroyed, not blown apart, simply neutralized. Their most advanced systems rendered completely useless by technologies they couldn't begin to comprehend. Commander Kirill Voss could only watch as his entire battle strategy collapsed around him. Humanity wasn't just another species to be conquered or controlled. They were something entirely different. The bridge of the Dauntless remained calm. No celebrations, no dramatic speeches, just the quiet confidence of a crew that knew exactly what they were doing. As the disabled alien vessels drifted helplessly, J. Park made a simple notation in the ship's log. "First contact, successful. Technological superiority, confirmed." Space returned to its quiet darkness, with the Dauntless moving forward as if nothing extraordinary had just occurred. But everything had changed. The aftermath of the first encounter spread like wildfire through alien communication networks. Intelligence agencies across multiple star systems began analyzing the limited data from the Xeraxian encounter with growing unease. Siok Lee sat in the advanced research lab of the Dauntless, surrounded by holographic displays that showed intricate technological breakdowns. Each system told a story of human engineering that defied conventional understanding. The ship's adaptive nanotechnology wasn't just a shield. It was a living, thinking defense mechanism that could predict and counter potential threats in microseconds. Captain J. Park watched as Siok reconstructed the battle sequences. The quantum displacement drives were particularly fascinating. Unlike traditional propulsion systems that relied on predictable movement patterns, these drives could instantaneously shift a spacecraft's position, making traditional targeting completely impossible. Back on the alien command ship, Commander Kirill Voss examined the captured data with growing frustration. Their most advanced scanning technologies had been rendered useless. The human ship had somehow created a technological bubble that absorbed and redirected energy weapons, turning offensive attacks into nothing more than harmless light shows. "This is impossible," Kirill muttered, reviewing the sensor logs for the 100th time. Each review revealed another layer of complexity that challenged everything the Zyraxian Empire knew about spacecraft design. The human technology wasn't just advanced, it was revolutionary. Across different research stations, scientists began to understand the true depth of human innovation. The Dauntless wasn't just a single advanced ship, it represented a complete rethinking of space travel, combat, and technological interaction. Quantum entanglement communication systems allowed instantaneous data transfer across impossible distances. Adaptive AI algorithms could make split-second decisions that would take organic beings minutes to process. The ship's molecular structure could literally reshape itself to counter different environmental challenges. Siok discovered something even more remarkable. The ship's systems were learning. Each encounter, each potential threat was immediately analyzed and integrated into its defensive and offensive capabilities. It wasn't just a machine, it was an evolving intelligence. "We've created something beyond a spacecraft," Siok told Jay, pointing at a complex holographic model. "This is more like a living organism." The implications were staggering. Traditional warfare concepts became obsolete. How do you fight an enemy whose technology can predict and counter your every move? Alien intelligence networks began tracking the Dauntless, hoping to understand its capabilities. But the more they watched, the less they understood. Each observation only deepened the mystery. The ship moved with a grace that seemed almost impossible. It could accelerate from 0 to near light speeds in moments, making traditional pursuit methods look like primitive attempts. Energy consumption was so efficient that the ship could potentially operate for decades without significant recharging. Commander Kirill Voss prepared a detailed report for the Zyraxian High Command. But how do you explain a technological threat that defies all known scientific understanding? The report was simple yet terrifying. Humans possess technological capabilities far beyond current galactic standards. Recommendation: extreme caution. Back on the Dauntless, Jay and Siok understood they were carrying more than a ship. They were carrying a message. Humanity was no longer a species to be overlooked or controlled. They were a technological force that would reshape galactic interactions. The quantum displays continued to dance with complex algorithms, each movement a silent declaration of human potential. The ship seemed to breathe with an intelligent rhythm, ready for whatever challenge the universe might present. As star systems watched and waited, the Dauntless moved silently through space, a harbinger of a new technological era that would challenge everything aliens thought they knew about advanced civilizations. The technological revelation had begun, and humanity was just getting started. The galaxy watched as humanity's fleet assembled. 20 ships, each a technological marvel like the Dauntless, prepared to change the course of interstellar conflict forever. Admiral Hyun Kim stood on the Central Command Bridge, his eyes reflecting the holographic displays that mapped the approaching alien armada. The Zyraxian Empire had gathered 1,000 ships, believing overwhelming numbers would compensate for their previous technological failures. They were wrong. "Tactical Formation Delta," Hyun commanded, his voice calm and precise. The human fleet moved like a single organism. Where traditional military strategies would create rigid battle lines, these ships demonstrated a fluid, almost living approach to warfare. Each vessel communicated through quantum networks, making decisions faster than any biological command structure could process. Commander Kirill Voss watched in growing horror as his massive fleet began to experience systematic failures. Communication. Channels collapsed. Navigation systems went dark. Weapon platforms became nothing more than expensive metal structures floating helplessly in space. The human ships didn't just fight. They dismantled entire technological ecosystems. Adaptive AI systems identified and exploited every single weakness in the alien fleet's infrastructure. Complex algorithms predicted movement patterns, neutralized defensive systems, and created cascading technological failures that spread like a digital plague. One by one, alien ships went dark. Not destroyed, not blown into pieces, simply disabled. Siak. Lee monitored the battle from the Dauntless, his fingers dancing across quantum interfaces. "We're not just fighting," he told J. Park. "We're teaching them a lesson about technological superiority." The battle lasted less than 3 standard hours. 1,000-ship armada reduced to floating debris and disabled systems. No massive explosions, no dramatic destructions, just a cold, calculated demonstration of human technological law. Might Admiral Hyun Kim's report was brutally simple. Complete strategic victory. 0 human casualties. Across alien communication networks, panic spread. The technological gap wasn't just significant, it was catastrophic. Humanity had demonstrated an ability to neutralize an entire military force without firing a single traditional weapon. The Xeraxian High Command went into emergency session. How could they possibly defend against an enemy that could disable their entire technological infrastructure with such ease? Commander Kirill Voss watched the battle recordings repeatedly. Each review revealed another layer of human strategic brilliance. The ships moved like intelligent organisms, predicting and countering threats before they could even fully materialize. Quantum displacement drives allowed instant repositioning. Adaptive nanoshields absorbed and redistributed energy attacks. Artificial intelligence systems made tactical decisions in microseconds that would take organic beings hours to contemplate. "They're not just advanced," Kirill muttered to himself. "They're fundamentally different." Back on the Dauntless, J. Park understood the deeper message. This wasn't about destruction. This was about demonstrating a fundamental shift in technological understanding. Humanity had evolved beyond traditional warfare concepts. They had created a new paradigm of strategic interaction that rendered existing military doctrines completely obsolete. The human fleet began to withdraw, leaving behind a field of disabled alien ships. No dramatic celebrations, no aggressive communications, just a calm, calculated demonstration of technological superiority. The message was clear. Humanity could neutralize any threat without causing unnecessary destruction. They were offering a choice: adapt or be left behind. As the Dauntless moved away from the disabled fleet, Siak looked at Jay. "They'll never look at us the same way again." Jay simply nodded. The strategic dominance was complete. The galaxy had just witnessed a fundamental transformation in interstellar power dynamics. Humanity had arrived, and nothing would ever be the same. The psychological impact spread faster than any physical weapon could travel. Alien civilizations watched in stunned silence as humanity dismantled entire technological infrastructures without firing a single traditional weapon. Commander Kirill Voss sat in his disabled command center, watching communication networks collapse around him. The Xeraxian communication systems, once considered the most advanced in the galaxy, became nothing more than expensive metal containers floating in space. Siak Lee on the Dauntless understood the deeper strategy. "We're not just fighting," he told Captain J. Park. "We're demonstrating absolute technological superiority." Across multiple star systems, alien species began receiving fragmented reports. A small human fleet had neutralized a 1,000-ship armada without causing massive physical destruction. No explosions, no traditional combat, just complete technological shutdown. The psychological impact was devastating. Alien military commanders, found their most advanced weapon systems transformed into useless metal. Navigation networks became blind, communication channels dissolved, entire military infrastructures collapsed without a single physical attack. Some alien civilizations interpreted this as a form of magic. Others saw it as a terrifying demonstration of technological evolution. The Zyraxian intelligence networks tried desperately to understand. How could a species they considered primitive achieve such complete technological dominance? Every analysis revealed something more frightening. Humanity wasn't just technologically advanced. They were fundamentally different. Admiral Hyun Kim monitored the psychological landscape. Each disabled system sent a clear message. Resistance was not just futile. It was mathematically impossible. Quantum communication networks carried whispers of fear. Tales of human technological capabilities spread faster than light itself. Small colonies, distant outposts, diplomatic stations. Everyone heard about the species that could neutralize entire military systems with a few quantum algorithms. Captain J. Park understood the deeper strategy. This wasn't about destruction. This was about communication. By demonstrating absolute technological superiority without unnecessary violence, humanity was offering a choice: collaborate or become irrelevant. The psychological warfare worked on multiple levels. Some alien species felt terror. Others felt a strange sense of admiration. But everyone understood one fundamental truth. Humanity had changed the rules of interstellar interaction. Alien research stations began studying every fragment of data they could find. Universities across different star systems started emergency seminars, trying to understand human technological principles. What made their systems so different? How could they achieve such complete technological control? Commander Kirill Voss found himself becoming a symbol of failure. His 1,000-ship armada reduced to floating metal containers. His communication systems, once considered invincible, now nothing more than expensive scrap. The Zyraxian High Command went into emergency session. How do you defend against an enemy that can disable your entire technological infrastructure without firing a traditional weapon? Siak Lee monitored the psychological landscape through advanced quantum sensors. Each disabled system sent ripples of fear and respect across alien civilizations. Humanity wasn't just another species. They were a fundamental shift in technological understanding. "We're teaching them a new language," Siak told Jay. "The language of technological respect." The Dauntless moved silently through space, a living symbol of humanity's technological capabilities. No dramatic posturing, no aggressive communications. Just a calm, calculated demonstration of absolute technological superiority. Alien diplomatic channels began requesting communication, not out of aggression, but out of a desperate need to understand. Captain J. Park watched the holographic displays. Each disabled system told a story of technological evolution. Humanity had demonstrated that true power wasn't about destruction. It was about understanding, about adaptation, about showing a better way. The psychological warfare was complete. The message was clear. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. As distant star systems processed this new reality, one truth became abundantly clear. The rules of interstellar interaction had fundamentally changed. The Galactic Diplomatic Center stood silent as President Elena Rodriguez walked into the massive circular chamber. Representatives from hundreds of alien civilizations watched her with a mixture of fear, respect, and curiosity. Captain J. Park and Admiral Hyun Kim stood behind her, their presence a silent reminder of humanity's technological capabilities. The room felt heavy with unspoken tension. "We come with a simple proposal," Elena began, her voice calm and clear. The universal translators carried her words to every species present. The Zyraxian delegation, led by a visibly humbled Commander Kirill Voss, sat closest to the human representatives. Their previous arrogance had been completely dismantled by humanity's technological demonstration. Siak Lee monitored the communication systems, ensuring every nuance was perfectly translated. This wasn't just a diplomatic meeting. This was a Moment that would redefine galactic relationships. Elena continued. Humanity seeks no empire. We seek mutual understanding and technological exchange. The alien representatives exchanged nervous glances. They had watched humanity disable an entire 1,000-ship armada without firing a single traditional weapon. They had seen human technology that made their most advanced systems look like primitive toys. Commander Kirill Voss spoke next, his voice carrying a mixture of defeat and respect. We acknowledge humanity's technological superiority, he said, the words difficult to admit. The diplomatic chamber felt like a pressure cooker of emotions. Some alien species looked terrified, others looked almost relieved. The demonstrations of human technological capabilities had been so complete, so overwhelming, that traditional concepts of conflict seemed suddenly obsolete. J. Park understood the deeper strategy. This wasn't about conquest. This was about showing a different approach to interstellar interaction. Technological exchanges began to be discussed. Humanity offered advanced quantum communication systems, adaptive nanotechnologies, and revolutionary energy management techniques. In return, they sought cultural exchanges, scientific collaboration, and mutual respect. The Xeraxian delegation, once proud and aggressive, now sat carefully, understanding their position had fundamentally changed. Their previous military doctrines were completely irrelevant against human technological capabilities. We propose a new galactic protocol, Elena said, her words cutting through the tension, one based on mutual growth, scientific collaboration, and peaceful technological exchange. Alien representatives began to see humanity not as a threat, but as a potential partner. The psychological impact of their earlier technological demonstration had been so profound that traditional diplomatic barriers began to dissolve. Siak Lee watched the holographic displays, monitoring every communication channel. Each word, each gesture was carefully calculated to demonstrate humanity's intentions of peaceful collaboration. The diplomatic meeting continued for hours. Complex agreements were drafted. New communication protocols were established. Humanity demonstrated that their technological superiority wasn't about domination, but about showing a better way of interstellar interaction. Commander Kirill Voss found himself in a position he never expected. Instead of planning military conquests, he was now discussing scientific collaborations with the very species his fleet had once considered insignificant. President Elena Rodriguez's final statement was simple yet powerful. We are not here to rule. We are here to grow together. The Galactic Diplomatic Center felt like it was witnessing a fundamental shift. Humanity had changed the rules of interstellar interaction without firing a single weapon. As the meeting concluded, alien representatives looked both terrified and hopeful. They had just witnessed a species that could disable entire military infrastructures with quantum algorithms, yet chose diplomatic collaboration over conquest. J. Park looked at Seok and Hyun. Their mission was complete. They had demonstrated humanity's true potential, not through destruction but through understanding. The diplomatic conclusion was clear. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. Outside the diplomatic center, stars continued their silent dance, witnessing a moment that would be remembered for generations to come.